Preparing the live stream. Preparing. Got it. Are you prepared? I'm prepared. Prepared. Hello, everybody. There's nobody here yet. It always takes a couple minutes for anybody to show up. Hello, nobody. Hello, Brandon and Jenny Hagan.
Hello. Good evening.
So this is a Comedeorological Report recording session. Welcome to the show. I'm Joey Only. This is my channel. You know what? I'm at 1,996 subscribers right now on the channel. So hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe. You might just be that 2,000th person. I don't have a prize for you, but I'll probably make a video of some sort this week, like a 2,000 subscriber special with like just a whole bunch of fire action and thunderstorms and shit from this year. You know, one of those kind of
badge if I'm the 2,000th.
I don't know. 2,000's pretty good, especially because like the first 1,000 was a grind. We're live with you. How's everyone's week? Talk, Brandon.
Oh, week has been, well, last week was wild because I had back to back broadcasts, and I was up really late a couple of nights, as in going to bed at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock and getting up at 3 the next morning, which is crazy. So that's why I wasn't here last week.
But you're here this week, and so is Jenny
Hagan this week. That's right.
Talk to us about when you had a subversive Comedeorological report.
Oh yeah, over the
and you had Jenny Hagan as a guest.
Yeah, you were away, and we were kind of short on people, and we brought Jenny Hagan on.
We're like, we
talked about storms for an hour.
The last minute was bring on. So
oh yeah, too.
With any talking points. So
but that was a fun show. Because we had you're on for about half an hour there, but Frankie invited this other guy. I forget this guy's name, but he's just a random guy. Didn't know he was going to be on the show, and he got on from Wyoming. He's all the way from Wyoming. He thought I was Joey Only, and that was he kept calling me Joey every 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm not Joey. So that was last show with Jenny.
Well, welcome to the actual show, Jenny, which isn't the actual show yet. The actual show starts at 7. You're a storm chaser in Saskatchewan. Do elaborate for our viewers who, I think there's some here already. So right on.
So for me, yeah, I chase weather across the Canadian prairies and sometimes down to the States there. But I think I'm best known for my winter chasing. It seems to have somehow fell into that forte. So we got our first winter storm of the season here on Monday. So I got to get the boots out.
Oh, yeah.
That storm right now is in Northern Ontario, more or less, and just kind of leaving Saskatchewan, Manitoba.
Yeah.
10 to 20 centimeters with the highest amounts near the American border. Will taper off Friday morning. And then over here in 10 to 20, it says in Northern Ontario. And down there, what does it say? It says freezing rain, few millimeters of accretion possible, particularly on elevated surfaces tonight into Friday morning. So look out, you people in Northern Ontario. And then up here, snowfall, 10 to 20 centimeters. That's due to Friday night. And then these are the only weather warnings in all of Canada right now, really. Ice pellets and look at that, more 5 to 15 centimeters there by the Ontario-Manitoba border up in Hay River. What do we got here? Nothing. What are you talking about? What you talking about, Environment Canada? Localized snow squalls up there in Hay and Fort Resolution right now, Hay River. So localized snow squalls. Here's earth.nullschool.net. Look at this. And look how cold a lot of that is. And hey, Hilding, welcome to the show. He snuck on in. Hilding Donaldson's here from Grass Plains, British Columbia. So now we got a number of people here. So, and then a crazy thing happened this week, Hilding. You wouldn't believe it. So one day I looked at the forecast models there, and it said Hurricane Otis, Category 5 storm impacting Mexico. And I was like, what the fuck? How did I miss that? And I guess everybody missed it. Out of the blue, this storm just came and hit Acapulco with Category 5 fury and there was guns and drugs and bodies thrown everywhere by the incredible wind. And it was really quite bad. And we don't know how that will affect Garbage Island. It's somewhere out here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, somewhere between Hawaii and California. It's this big island of garbage that's floating around out there. And little known fact, but we have no idea how many Californians are floating out there along with the rest of the plastic. So, okay. So Hurricane Otis hit Acapulco, and so at least 27 dead there. And this was a storm that within 24 hours went from being like, well, maybe it's a hurricane to look out, it's killing a lot of people.
That was a rapid intensification. I don't think anybody really saw that coming for it to intensify that quickly overnight.
I don't think that's ever happened before, quite like that.
Not that rapid, no.
Especially in the Pacific side. I was gonna try to like do something different with my camera tonight, but already I'm like super uncomfortable. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. Frankie's here early tonight. Wow. Okay, what are we gonna do with? We got early Frankie. That means it might mean early recording session. Maybe he's just showing up to like show us some random people that he's met on the street. Hey, Frankie.
Yes. I'd like to introduce Joe Youngly.
Hey, how's it going, buds?
That means the show starts at 11 p.m. Atlantic time, 7 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, we're just getting ready to have Frankie on the show there, lad. What's your name?
Hi.
What is it?
Hi.
I like your shirt, man. That's gnarly. It's a good shirt.
So the show starts in 20 minutes away.
Show starts in 20 minutes, Frankie. And he's already gone. So there's our sneak peek at Frankie. And that's great. Can't wait to have Frankie on in 19 minutes time. Frankie McDonald, everybody. So where was I? What were we doing? We were looking at models like we always do ahead of time. So
we were talking about the rapid intensification there. So
rapidly intensifying storm in Mexico. So what do you got on this? What are we going to say late in the show? What's in it? You got something? I know Hilding probably doesn't, but Brandon maybe.
On this storm?
On Otis.
Oh, Otis. Yeah. The Otis went from, well, it was forecast to be tropical storm by landfall, but it fooled us all and decided to become category 5 right before landfall there. So that was, yeah. It was a surprise for everybody. That's for sure.
That was a pretty bad storm. Look at this. So we got, down there in the States, in the Rocky Mountains here. So it's probably somewhere around Colorado. I got clicked on. Maybe that's more down here. But in the minuses, minus 12.9. I don't understand why earth.nullschool.net can have all this amazing mapping and whatnot, but the map itself you can't even tell where anything is. So it's like somewhere in that dot is a place in the United States that's really cool right now. But what I'm looking at are these convergences along that boundary between the cold air that's going to be moving across and causing all kinds of havoc. And what can you tell us about this? Maybe some snowstorms and chaos along some of these frontal areas, eh?
Yeah, they're going to cool down eventually across the U.S. So don't think any big snowstorms, but the biggest snowstorms right along the Montana and North Dakota, pushing into northwestern Ontario. So that's where all the fun snowstorms are at. That they had a tornado in San Antonio, Texas today, with that warm air meeting up with that cooler air mass there. And yeah, it's been definitely some interesting weather ahead for the U.S. and Oklahoma and Texas are going to cool down. I guess for us, it's for us. Well, for them, it's really cold. For us, it's like a cool down, I guess.
I think a friend of mine in Montana said 12 inches.
Yes. Yeah, at least that. And I think Linden, Alberta was the cold spot in all of Canada today at minus 26 degrees this morning.
Ugh.
Nice.
That's why I'm not going to the haunted house tonight. Or the haunted museum yard where everything's outside.
That is too cold for this time of year.
Oh yeah.
That's a little bit crappy. So we got a fish storm going on out there in the Atlantic.
Yep. Tropical storm, post-tropical storm Tammy. Just hanging
looks
out.
pretty cool in that picture, but it's okay. Unfortunately, your heads are in the way. I can't read this. 70% chance of cyclone, but the heads are in the way.
Would you like me to read it?
Yes. So 70% chance.
I can
Now,
see
given
it.
what happened this week, does 70% chance mean 1,000% chance?
So this is what it says. So Central America and Mexico, the broad area of low pressure located a couple of 100 miles south of the southern coast of El Salvador is producing disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity. Environmental conditions appear to be conducive for development for this system, and a tropical depression is likely to form by this weekend while the low moves slowly northwestward to the northward. They worded that wrong. Formation chance through 48 hours. High is a 70% chance, and the formation, about 80% chance.
So based on what happened this week, 70% chance is like 1,000% chance.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So here we have what do we got here? Jet stream models right now, and it's just so annoying when the live streaming features are in the way of things I'm trying to read. So here we go. We got that cold air. It's going to move down into the States. And here we got in behind, coming up in time for Halloween, the BC coast. Boom. That looks like some nice weather.
A schnook.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, it won't last very long. Yeah, that's the thing. But, but that looks good. That looks really good for us. And then, that jet stream is crazy looking. What the heck is this thing? What the fuck's that shit?
Looks kind of disorganized. Little glitch in the system there.
Oh, see, remember that warm weather we were talking about a couple of days ago? Yeah, and by the November 3rd, look at that. No, it's all over. So enjoy it while you got it. And there's going to be some storms that kind of form in here, looks like, I bet. So, don't do that. There we go. That looks like misery for BC in early November. That's what I'm guessing that means.
You're gonna send
happy
the
time, happy time, and then happy time is over. I like when the happy time isn't over. Okay, same thing here. I got everyone's heads in the way.
You could just put us off to the side.
I'm gonna put you on the other side now. Now you're on the other side. So here we got all the cold weather. On the cold weather. Look at that. It's very cold. It's coming right down into the United States. And here we have that Northern Ontario kind of storm going on. A little bit of, rain near the lakes, but snow up north. And a mix of freezing pellets and gobbledygook. Looks like out by the East Coast, there's a bit of rain moving through there too right now. And so that cold is sitting nicely. And then what do we come to Saturday, the 28th? And there's that warmth trying to build in on the BC coast. Oh, it looks so good. Watch this. Doesn't look that very nice. Where's your weather? It looks cold in Alberta still, and Saskatchewan as well. Well, maybe a little bit nicer in Alberta. Oh, you get a turn too. Everyone gets, no, not everyone gets a turn. No, Saskatchewan did not get a turn, just Alberta. And then here, look at this. The 2nd of Thursday of November, BC, you're going to get some precipitation in the mountains, probably. Some parade of storms moving through. Here's another one. This one, blam, gotcha. So we're looking at snowfall events early in November and cold weather. Look at that, mostly across Canada. Mostly across Canada. That's all. Just Canada. And a little bit of the United States too, but just all of Canada. Not even a little bit of Canada spared. Oh, look at that. Whoa, wow, warmth for a moment. Well, that's looking pretty far out. That's the 11th. So I wouldn't get too excited about that. It looks like most of that I expect to go to Ontario. Anyways, so that gives you an idea. That gives you an idea. of where things are going. That's what I got to start the show. Jenny, talk to us about your last chase there that you were on. You got a broken leg still, don't you? I mean, you got blown off the roof by a tornado, and we're very concerned about your extreme weather.
I wish that was the story. A tornado would have been.
It can be the story.
But yeah, I fell 9 feet straight onto my back on top of a ladder. So been dealing with the back issues while I recuperate. A few more months of physio, but got to get out and chase on Monday. We got a little system that moved through. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of wind for us. It was only up to about 50 kilometers an hour, but we got about 20 centimeters of snow with it and some good conditions there for a while. I'm looking forward to the first like major blizzard where you get your 80 kilometer to 100 kilometer hour wind gusts with the snow systems.
And that's something you get there that we don't really get here in Wells. Now, up here at Wells at 4,000 feet in the Caribou Mountains is where I live. What we do get is 35, sometimes 45 feet of measurable precipitation in the winter. So we get, as everybody who's been on this show and been around me for quite a while will know that that their snow totals are laughable every time we point the camera out my window. And sometimes you can't see out the window even. What gets to that point every winter where you can't see the road. You can't see the vehicles parked right there because it gets bad. And then we eventually GT off the roof. But what we don't get is the collision of weather that produces this blizzard-like conditions. We just get 3 weeks of it's snowing all the time.
It's optimal roof jumping weather then for you.
Love it.
It's been a while since I've been able to jump off my roof here in Saskatchewan into a snowbank. So
yeah, evidently not recently.
No, Saskatchewan's been so dry. And they're talking kind of models are looking towards a drier winter here. And I was hoping we'd be buried in snow.
I would expect with the El Nino possibilities that you're not going to see. Well, you never know, right? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. That's what we find out all the time. But, survey shows the probability is dry weather in Western Canada this winter.
Yeah, I would love a 2012, 2013 repeat for Saskatchewan, where there was, I can't remember, 127 centimeters of snow that winter.
That's pretty good. And then it all just starts blowing and it all blows into Manitoba. And then like a week later, you got no snow. I think that's why Manitoba has so many mosquitoes. The wind just blows them from across the entire prairies.
The wind could blow harder then because I still got too many here.
Yeah, I bet. That's one thing I did like about BC. And when people complain to me about the bugs here, I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea. Like back home, we got black fly, horse fly, deer fly, booze fly, bar fly, no senum, dunham, ticks, fleas, tories, getting in your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your ass, your holes, your plans.
One night outside sleeping in the middle of summer in the prairies, that'll smarten them up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here comes Hank. We forgot to tell him we don't need him anymore because we got a new Saskatchewan person. Just kidding. We need Hank.
We won't shock Hank.
There he is. Nice. I like your table. So there's Hank Leester just showing up. He's getting himself all connected up with the connectoroo. If you got comments, and hey, Shelly Solinsky, she's the first one to comment as often as. Good to see you. Hi, folks. Nice to be here. Jenny Hagan, Storm Chaser Photographer. Is that you? Is the question.
No.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I think she was talking to Jenny, not Brandon.
How's it going? I can't see the comments.
Oh, it's on the YouTube.
Oh, that's why I can't see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we're this is the most confusing thing ever, but we get together and have a live stream. And then during the live stream, we hit record when Frankie comes on and we start the show. And then tonight, the guest of honor in the show is going to be you, Jenny Hagan, Saskatchewan storm chaser photographer. And 6 minutes time, Frankie will be here. He's always here like extremely punctually. Not always. Sometimes he's not. And then we get like, when it's like 7 and it's like 15 seconds after 7. And we're like, man, I hope Frankie's okay. Hey, Hank, how you doing tonight?
Good. I finally got my sound working. So that's good.
That's good. I was just wondering. I wonder if he finally got his sound working.
Heck no.
And now I have the answer. Good. How's Saskatchewan? Jenny tells me it's awesome. Is she wrong?
Yeah, that's bullshit. It's good. It was nice weather today. We had sunshine, and we have been a little bit lacking when it comes to sunshine the last 7 days or so, right, Jenny?
Yeah, it's been pretty overcast, but I'm the bring on all the winter storms right now because I got nothing better to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how I felt about fires this spring. I was just like so done of sitting around the house waiting for something to happen. I was like, I hope something burns soon. And then everything was burning. I was like, shit. And,
It's your fault.
and then October came and I sat down.
That's my favorite. It's just, you live life on the run and it's like all this chaos. And then you get like your breather. And after a week, you're like, okay, I'm ready to do something else again.
Okay, talk amongst yourself for 1 minute.
1 minute. Has it been a minute yet?
How much snow did you get, Brandon, over for you guys?
About 16 centimeters total, so it's pretty good. Oh yeah, really good. It started off very heavy and wet, as you saw there. I came back inside from that live stream soaked. Felt like I got out of a cold shower.
Gotta love that when you got like the ice caked in your hair.
Oh yeah.
Here at Wilkie, we got less than a centimeter. It's like just a skip, closer to like 0.1 centimeter, I would say. Barely. It didn't even really coat the driveway. No, just a little bit on the top of the car and stuff. Anyway, it was good. I didn't really want a big dump of snow, I can deal with 10 centimeters at once, but I don't like 20.
What about 30?
Brandon? No.
Like big, like 40 centimeter dumps and 80K winds.
Drifts over the house?
Yes, that's the way to do snowstorms.
Well, we got about 2 centimeters of snow back on Monday, and then it went from 12 above to 12 below. Plunk, just like that. So we got acclimatized to winter real fast.
Yeah, it fucking sucks out right now.
Yeah. It's been minus 12 every morning since Tuesday.
It's cold as hell. I got the wood stove going. I could finally take my toque off. It took me all day to warm the house up.
Is it ever possible to climatize to the cold though? Like I am always frozen.
It is. It is. In fact, it just takes a little bit of time. It's certainly being acclimatized to elevation. In my case, at 4,000, that becomes a very handy thing. I can't tell you how many times I've been out on fires, and we're running around at 5,000-6,000 feet or something like that. And I'm going. I got a smoke hanging out my mouth, and I'm like yelling down the hill to the young guys they're from Kamloops or somewhere that it's relatively close to sea level, 550 feet or something like that above sea level there, and they're gasping, and I'm yelling down the mountain, "This can be you when you're 44." Part of it is
It is
Yeah.
crazy on how much, like, especially being a flatlander, like I got flatlander legs, flatlander lungs. So Shannon and I took a trip out to the mountains, and this guy told us this, hike was an easy up and down hike, and I just about died. I'm like, yeah, easy up and down for a non-flatlander.
You should see the next bunch of videos I'm putting out from our fire in Bella Coola. We had to like attach ropes to certain sorts, especially in black areas where it was so slick. It was awesome carrying heavy stuff up and down that. I was in my element. Like, let's go. Steep country. Frankie McDonald's here. Frankie, you ready to start the show?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to hit the record then, and we're going to get going here. And is everybody ready? Are you ready, Brandon?
Ready.
Okay, are you ready, Hilding? Are you ready to start the show?
Mhm.
That's not a very positive. Is everybody ready? How about you, Shelly Selinsky, watching, and anybody else watching out there? Are you ready? Okay, let's start the show. Ready? Ready for this? Okay, record to the cloud.
Yes.
Good morning, Prince George, and good afternoon, Winnipeg. Hello, Kamloops and citizens of Victoria, greater area who might be watching us on Shaw Spotlight Television. This is the Comedeorological Report. I am Joey Only here in Wells, British Columbia. Comedeorology, it's a science that we made up. It's a brand new science. It's the science of how much the weather sucks in Canada. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. It's your lighthearted, laughing look at world weather news. And we got lots of it. This week on the show, we have a special guest of honor, Jenny Hagan, her first time on the real Comedeorological Report, the one that doesn't put an I in Comedeorology. And they had de facto episodes without me this summer while I was out fighting fire. But as you students might know, you did not hear it on your radios because we did not produce those for radio. But anyways, so now we have Jenny Hagan on here for good. She's Saskatchewan storm chaser, and it's going to be a good conversation. But also, we got the panel, as per always, including the host of the show, the star, the guy, the man, the world-famous weatherman in Sydney, Nova Scotia, Frankie McDonald. He's out there right now, standing around, stealing Wi-Fi outside A&W, ready to speak to us. And, of course, we got man of the hour, always, Brandon Hauk. He's back this week, finally. Brandon Hauk's back. He decided not to go to a haunted house. Too scary, too cold, too crappy. He's here with us instead. Brandon Hauk down there in Brooks, Alberta, the radio weatherman himself, and Hilding Donaldson's out there in Glacier Plains, BC, and also from Saskatchewan, a storm chaser and photographer, Hank Leistra. We'll be talking to everybody at some point or another. First, we got to always do our Frankie time. Frankie McDonald, how you doing so far this week, buddy?
I'm doing great so far. Then it got snow ahead for Oklahoma on Sunday, and parts of Texas getting freezing rain and snow in Kansas and those places. It's going to head towards Oklahoma with some freezing rain, things like this Sunday coming up. And the Monday's going to get cold in Kansas, Oklahoma, those places. There's an Arctic guy heading towards North Dakota and South Dakota next week. That's going to drive cold air all in the southeastern United States as well. Then it got some rain heading for Sydney, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, and Quebec, and then it got warm air heading for Ontario. Then the cold front's going to go through this weekend as well up in Ontario. Then on this Monday coming, to get some showers and rain in the forecast in Nova Scotia. Then it's going to turn really cold in Nova Scotia on Halloween. In Wisconsin, it's going to be really, really cold on Halloween too. In eastern United States and eastern Canada, it's going to be really cold on Halloween. It's going to bring warmer than average temperatures in western United States and western Canada on Halloween this year. And that's October 31st. And guess what? Tomorrow is 300th day of the year.
That's right. It's the 300th day of the year tomorrow.
Right
How
now,
could I
it's
forget?
299th day of the year in my area as of right now.
Frankie, have you ever met storm chaser Jenny Hagan out there in Saskatchewan?
Hi, Jenny. I'm Frankie now. I'm a YouTuber from Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada. My most viewed video is Sky Try See 50 hot dogs at once.
Great to see you again, Frankie.
Jenny, you have returned. And my latest comedy video is a vampire drinking red tea.
Yeah, we can check that out in a little bit if you want, Frankie. We're gonna have Jenny on as guest of honor tonight, Frank, and we'll be asking her all kinds of questions later. Frankie, what about the worst weather in the whole wide world?
And then the hurricane just hit Mexico. Hurricane Otis just hit Mexico, did a lot of damage and things like this. Then it got some storms coming on, a lot of thunderstorms in southern Brazil right now. There's a lot of snow up in the southern Chile mountains and rain on the coast areas in southern Chile as well. Their summer starts in December 21st there. The last sunset up above the Arctic Circle is November 18th. Lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Venezuela and Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador, and Bolivia, and Venezuela, northern Brazil is right now. Up across in Europe, like there's a big storm heading towards England, lots of rain and wind heading for northern France and sitting towards parts of Spain and Portugal. A lot of wind and rain in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. It's really, really cold up in Norway, Finland, Sweden. Lots of wind and rain heading towards Denmark and Netherlands and those places. It's heading towards Moscow, Russia, and all these places.
What about in Japan, Frankie?
Over in Japan, lots of storms coming off the coast of Japan. Got cold air trying to make its way to Japan. Lots of showers in Japan and Tokyo and Sapporo, Japan. Lots of rain in southern China. Because China's and it's in the dry season now. Lots of thunderstorms and rain in the Philippines and all those places. Off the coast of Japan to get really cold air in Vladivostok, Russia, and those places. Really cold air is going to head towards Magadan, Russia. Yakutsk could be getting extreme cold soon.
Excellent, excellent. What about up in outer space, Frankie?
Lots of solar flares shooting from the sun as for right now. And if you'll hear about this, I got major news. Over in India, monsoon season came to an end. Sri Lanka still bringing lots of thunderstorms and rain in Sri Lanka and far southern India.
I didn't hear that. No. Frankie, what's going on? I see you got the moons up behind you right now. How's the weather in Sydney, Nova Scotia? You don't have a toque on. Must be okay.
It's clear skies right now in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. It's mild. And guess what? There's a lot of storms coming off the coast of West Coast Africa. And there's a lot of thunderstorms and rain coming off of West Coast, Northwest Coast Africa. And South Africa, they'll be in the rainy season in Botswana, Mozambique, Madagascar in December and January and February. They'll be in the rainy season there soon. And parts of South Africa is getting lots of rain. This on Halloween too. There's warm air, cold air fighting each other in Madagascar. And La Réunion and Mauritius Islands in Australia and New Zealand. There's a lot of cold air in South Island, New Zealand. It's really, really cold air right now. And temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius in South Island, New Zealand. In Northern Australia, it's really, really, really hot right now. In Southern Australia, warm air, cold air fighting each other in Southern Australia. In Southeast Australia, lots of thunderstorms going on in Southeast Coast Australia with hail and rain and things like this lately. Antarctica will be 24-hour daylight starting November 18th. The last sunset up above the Arctic Circle is November the 18th, 2023.
Okay. Anyone got questions for Frankie McDonald?
Yeah. Imogen's gone again.
She's gone. I noticed. Yeah. I don't know where she went. No Imogen this week. Anyone got questions for Frankie?
Are you ready for your first snowfall, Frankie?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Frankie. Okay. So I got this here. Frankie videos for the week. You ready to watch some Frankie videos for the week, everybody?
The vampire drinking red tea.
Is everybody ready for Frankie videos this week? I need to hear some enthusiasm here, folks. Everybody ready for some Frankie videos this week?
Yes.
Let's go, Frankie.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Hurricane Tammy South headed towards Bermuda on Friday, October 27, 2023. It's going to bring very strong winds to the rain showers in Bermuda. That's going to cause big waves crash on beach and shore, especially in Hamilton, Bermuda. It's going to bring down power lines, snapper tree branches in half. It's going to do some damage to wharfs and things like this. It's going to bring howling winds, and it's going to bring some sideways rain. Wind-driven rain. It's going to last for the next few days in Bermuda. It's going to bring a lot of rain that could cause beach erosion. It's going to bring a lot of heavy rain and downpours in Bermuda, especially in Hamilton, Bermuda. It's going to bring a lot of rain. Winds are going to be really strong that can knock out power on Friday, October 27, 2023. It's going to bring heavy downpours, very strong winds. It's going to cause power outages. It's going to cause some damages to buildings and houses and things like this, including wharfs, and things like this.
Wharfs too.
People in Bermuda, be prepared. Make sure your medical kit's ready, emergency kits, flashlights, candles, crank up radio, extra batteries, generators, battery operated lanterns, and bottled water ready as well. When you go for a walk, don't walk too far. When the storm gets bad, stay inside. Don't go outside. Stay in your houses. Make sure to stay away from the beaches and don't go near shores. Make sure if your mobile internet ready as well, and extra batteries and generators, battery operated lanterns, and bottled water ready as well. If you have anybody living in Bermuda, be prepared for Hurricane Tammy on Friday, October 27, 2023. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in Hurricane Tammy. Stay dry, be safe.
Stay dry, be safe. Don't get caught in Hurricane Tammy. Stay dry.
Hey everybody, it's Frankie down. Here's an update in Antarctica for November 2023. It's going to bring 24-hour daylight down below Antarctic Circle. It's going to be Southern Hemisphere. Summer's going to start on December 21st, 2023. And it's going to bring daylight 24 hours a day. It's going to get a little bit warmer, but it's still going to be really cold in Scott Station, Hamilton Scott Sulpo Station, McMurdo Station, and Palmer Station, and all the other research stations in Antarctica. It's still going to be blowing snow, drifted snow in central Antarctica. It's going to bring really, really cold temperatures still. It's going to bring warmer. A lot of scientists are going to Antarctica this time of the year. A lot of research people and scientists are going down to Antarctica in the Southern Hemisphere summer from December 21st until March 20th, 2024. Sometime around December 25th, 2023, it's going to bring 24-hour daylight in Antarctica. And then it's going to bring really, really, really light weather. It's going to bring, still going to be really cold. I urge everyone in Antarctica to dress very warm because it's going to be Southern Hemisphere summer in Antarctica, including McMurdo Station, Palmer Station, Scott Station, and Emerson Scott Sulpo Station, Antarctica, and surrounding areas. Be prepared, be safe, and stay warm, be safe. For people, including scientists in Antarctica, be safe.
Especially if you're in Antarctica.
Okay, guys, let's do vampire drinking red tea.
Oh no, the vampire's drinking red tea, everybody.
Red tea.
So the vampire is drinking some red tea, and it's falling out of his mouth and back into his cup. It's really hard for vampires to keep tea in their mouth.
It's good.
I forgot that I bought vampire teeth, and they're still in the car, Frankie. And now next week, by the time I get them out of the car, it won't be Halloween anymore, and I'll have no reason to wear them. Now, why is he drinking red tea? Is there not enough blood around, Frankie?
The red tea, it's not blood, it's minerals and nutrients from Africa, South Africa somewhere.
Is it because he can't find blood? So there you go. Yeah, the vampire's drinking red tea. Everybody, for you radio listeners out there at C488.7, CKW59.
I'll try how to take it off.
Okay, there you go.
What about my latest video? My dad's son on SoundCloud.
Oh, wait. Frankie wanted you to see this.
Yeah.
This is his most popular video ever, Jenny.
Yes.
You guys see he's cooking up some hot dogs there, having a good time.
Boy, I want you to eat 50 hot dogs at once.
Boy,
50 hot dogs at once. Eat them all right now. Eat 50 hot dogs at once.
you better do what that guy says. FD, are you counting? Did you count when you did this, Frankie? Do we know that he actually ate 50?
My stomach is upset.
That was like 20.
That's so bad! 20 more hot dogs!
Has the guy ever tried to eat watermelons? Get up. Don't go falling down.
I can't take it anymore.
It looks like Frankie and I have to have a hot dog
Eat
meeting.
those hot dogs right now!
Poor guy.
Dang it! I ate 50 hot dogs. Oh, I can't get up anymore.
It's just like people exercising in the background while Frankie's eating 50
Get
hot
up!
dogs.
Don't go fall down! Because I told you to eat 50 hot dogs at once! Thanks for watching.
So that's what gym class is like there at Sydney, Nova Scotia High School. Well,
Imogen finally made it.
oh, Imogen's finally here. Right on. Hi, Imogen. Welcome to the show. We got a full cast now. We got Imogen, we got Hilden, we got Frankie, we got Hank Leister, we got Brandon Houck, we got Jenny Hagan.
If
Guest
you're,
of
if you're listening to the only show, you can watch it on, you can listen to it on the CFUR 88.7 FM, Prince George, CKUW 95.9 FM, in Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 FM. McCain looks it's on Shot Spotlight TV in Vancouver Island.
Thank you for them station IDs, Frankie. Jenny Hagan, talk to us about your storm chasing career out there in Saskatchewan. We're already getting into the hours, so we better jump to you quickly here.
Well, I've been chasing severe weather across the Canadian prairies for about 14 years. So, what really got me interested was taking a ride inside a tent, inside a plow wind when I was 7 years old. And it was my little Dorothy moment that had me absolutely intrigued about severe weather. So I've been actively chasing across the prairies, tornadoes, hails, wind, and I think I'm probably most noted for now is my winter storm chasing. For some reason, people love a crazy Canadian girl out playing in a blizzard. So
It's like they don't get as much blizzard in the States, but they get tornadoes and stuff, right? But it's like we get these things that we get that to them is quite fascinating. Like I was saying earlier, the amount of snow we get here in Wales, Americans just think that's crazy when they see my videos, right? So
it's a highly untapped market, the winter storm chasing. And, it's something that people that don't get to experience the weather like we do just eat up. So it's like highly marketable material, which a lot of people don't know.
Oh, big
the
time.
thing is that
I found it on I just did a latest video back at 8 o'clock p.m. Sydney, Nova Scotia time about my dad's latest song.
what's your dad's latest song, Frankie?
My dad's latest song is streaming one. And that means my dad's latest song on his SoundCloud Mystic Mist.
What's it called? What's the song called?
His latest song is Streaming a Daydream.
Streaming a Daydream on Mystic Mist SoundCloud. That's Frankie's dad. He's been on the show before, Frank McDonald Sr., and he makes music on SoundCloud. And Frankie wants everyone in the world to hear his dad's music, so he's always letting us know what Frank McDonald Sr.'s put up recently. I'm gonna get to you in a few minutes, Jenny, and we're gonna talk to you all about all your craziest storm interactions. But I think I want to keep always in line with the order of the show and get our Western Canada weather report with Brandon Houck. The Brandon Houck report right now. Brandon Houck.
Yeah, the Brandon Houck report who has no report. Okay, that's no, I do have a report. I promise you. But last week here we had I wasn't here last week because I was
Yeah,
running
what's up
some-
with that? Report on first report. First report.
Yeah.
Attendance report.
Yeah. So, well, we won all of our games, so that's the good thing. So, well, actually, we lost one game, but that's okay. It's in Bonnyville. We're fine.
It'll be the last time all season, probably.
Oh yeah, probably.
I'm actually missing Toronto game right now. That's my dedication to weather.
Oh, well, that's too bad, eh?
Yeah, but it's not like I worked for Toronto, whereas you work for producing Brandon Brooks Brandits, the Brooks Brandits, the Brandon Houck Bandits.
That's right. And well, we had 7:30 game and a 7:00 game, and then plus to do the morning shows. So it's like 4 hours of sleep. So by Thursday night last week, I was like, okay, I don't know if I can do. I don't know if I could stay up an extra hour. So better, because I had 2 other games Friday and Saturday. So it was a wild week. This week's a little more relaxed. I was gonna we were thinking about going to a haunted house tonight, but it's I'll show you the temperatures. It's just like brutally cold out there. Actually not too bad. If it was in January, this would be a very nice night tonight, but temperatures were like -8 degrees with a wind chill. It feels like -13 out the door. It's the 26th of October. Kindersley, near where Jenny is, it's about -10 right now.
There's a solid -8 on the Barkerville weather station there.
Oh yeah. So we're almost about same temperature right now.
Yeah, we're enjoying similar misery, buddy.
Similar misery, and we've got periods of light snow tonight into tomorrow. We had that snow earlier this week. We picked up about 16 centimeters of snow. It was a fairly wet, sloppy snow to start, and I was standing outside for an hour with Jenny there, and I got soaked to the brim. Felt like I was out in a cold shower. It was fun, and then it cooled down quickly into the evening, and the wind picked up as well, and we got that 16 centimeters of beautiful snow that's still on the ground right now because we haven't gotten above freezing since Monday night there. So we're going to continue to see as we go into next week, just some periods of flurry activity, but temperatures are actually going to warm up here as we get closer and closer to Halloween. This weekend, actually not too shabby. Probably see daytime highs pushing at least near the freezing mark through the weekend. or just slightly above. But Halloween is going to be our nice warm up to reality where seasonal temperatures are likely with 8 degrees. That will be nice. Halloween.
Oh, look at that up north of Hinton there. That's
a
nice
8, 9
warm
degrees.
there. Wow.
Looking pretty dandy for Halloween.
And it won't last very long, will it?
No, it's going to cool right back down again.
Just like a little tease, but I'm going to get some things done. I swear this time.
Oh, yeah. You will, eh? As in, how much wood could Joey chuck, right?
Hey Jenny, and the others. I'm on Instagram. I got 320,000 followers now.
320,000 followers. That's pretty good. This show actually airs on Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude YouTube. And this week I got, as of showtime, 1,996 subscribers. Almost 2,000 subscribers now, Frankie. Pretty stoked. That's a long, far cry from Frankie's 300,000 YouTube subscribers.
There's a moon up in the sky. Full moon is this Saturday coming.
Full moon's this Saturday coming. Jenny, what was the craziest storm you think you've ever chased? Best tornado chase first.
The best one, my favorite one was just actually last year, Bergen, Alberta, because that was the one I got to share for the first time with my daughter, who's 17. So that was her first tornado, and she got to stand side by side with me, and we recorded it from about 300 meters away.
Nice. Decent. How many do you think now? How many? Wild guess. How many tornadoes?
That I got probably about 15 to 20.
Well, first one with the daughter, then that's extra magical, eh?
Oh, it is.
And then the winter chasing. Craziest. The winter chasing, craziest. And of course, winter chasing, I mean, maybe the reason why it doesn't catch on is that nobody really wants to drive around in the winter.
Well, you don't do too much driving around. People just generally hate the cold, which they prefer just to curl up and stay warm. Actually, I think my craziest one was probably the Kindersley one. That one was battered by 100-kilometer-hour more winds for 9.5 hours.
Then guess what? I got something else to say. Extreme meteorologist and storm chaser Aaron Chachak met me in person on September 23rd, 2022 at the Mayflower Mall the day before Hurricane Fiona struck Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Did you tell him about the eclipse?
I told him about the eclipse back on Friday, September 23rd, 2022. There's a total solar eclipse heading right for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8, 2024.
That's right. That's right. So you're saying Kindersley, Saskatchewan, 9 hours of...
Sorry, what was that?
You're saying Kindersley, Saskatchewan, 9 hours of wind.
Getting battered by wind and snow, and there was snowbanks built up to almost like the top of my vehicle. And that same one, like coming back from the card lock came up, there was a clearing in the weather, so I thought, okay, perfect time to get home and get some food into me and stuff. And all of a sudden the wind picked back up, whiteout conditions, and boom, all these vehicles stopped in front of me. So stopped and then realized I was sitting on the railroad tracks and couldn't back up. So I was like, well, there's room to scoot around. We're just going to scoot around these people and take the back road into town. And turns out that he
damaged that train.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have been hammered by a train there because there's no lights, so I wouldn't have known it was coming. So tried to scoot around. Semi had slid off the road and blocked off the main intersection, so tried to take the back road. And somebody with a white truck just left their vehicle sitting in the middle of the road stuck. So at that point, my only option was just to park in the ditch because that was the safest place for me, that nobody might hit me in the whiteout conditions, at least, hopefully. So got to just sit there and wait for the storm to pass and then, get the tractor to pull me out because I was buried pretty good into the ditch.
So you didn't do that intentionally.
No, I did it intentionally so I wouldn't get hit on the road because I didn't want to be stopped in the middle of the road.
Okay.
There was just no way to make it around this white truck somebody abandoned in the middle of the road. So,
Hank, you live in Saskatchewan. This kind of stuff happens?
Oh yeah. I was one time driving back from a sporting event that my daughter was in, a wrestling thing, and man,
girls wrestling, that's Saskatchewan, man. You guys are hardcore.
She's good at it too. She was doesn't do it at the moment. Anyway, man, the storm was just crazy, and the thing that really makes it 100 times worse is those storms when it's super, super windy. I mean, even if you get 3 centimeters of snow, if you have that crazy wind to go along with 3 centimeters of snow, the conditions are insane. It's not the amount of snow, it's the amount of wind. As long as there's some snow and then you get strong winds on top of it. Oh man, people had to be driving about 30 down the highway because you couldn't see where the road was. You just totally you're driving with both the driver and the passenger looking out their window trying to tell where the shoulder of the road is, and you're weaving back and forth into the oncoming lane constantly because you can't tell if you're in the oncoming lane or not. So yeah, it gets nasty.
Frankie, was Saskatchewan meant to be civilized by human beings?
Saskatchewan, it's the flat plains and things like this.
Now, take a quick break over to something completely different. How's the weather in Victoria going on, Image Cookie Bailey?
Well, it's dark and cold. That's about it. Dark and cold. We all week, maybe a high of 10-ish, low of 0. Clear
This is-
skies, then rain. It's like a cold, frosty sponge. It's delightful.
There's Imogen's forecast for you.
Yep.
Dark and cold, maybe 10 degrees sometime.
Yeah, that throughout the upcoming week, that's what we can expect is a high of 10 degrees.
That's pretty good.
I
Definitely.
take that.
Yeah, it's warmer than we're experiencing right now in Wales, I'll tell you. I got the wood stove.
I'd
Going
wish it was
behind me.
10. My
Well,
Ah,
the fun thing about it is that during the summer, we get lows of 10. So it kind of shows the mediocrity of the weather here. We have slightly better and slightly worse versions of bland. And I mean, I love it, but it gets boring. The odd tornado ripping through, the odd sharknado, a few angry, biohazardous radioactive crabs walking across the highway, jamming up traffic. That'd be a nice change. But no, we have cold and damp as opposed to warm and damp.
I think most the tornado activity in British Columbia the last couple of years has been coastal, which has been surprisingly, because usually right here in the Caribou is the place to go for severe convective weather in British Columbia.
I mean, we get warnings about storms all the time, but it always misses the tip of the island. Just with the layout of the islands around here, it just dissipates before it hits us. So
We had there was one tornado in Victoria. Do you recall? I think it was last year. There was one in Vancouver as well that went through by UBC, and we've had a whole bunch of water spout warnings recently, right, Brandon? Lots of water spout warnings.
Well, more so water spout watches. I haven't had any warnings. But...
That's right, watches. Because how can you have a warning for a water spout? Because nobody lives where a water spout may be occurring.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, tornado warnings are kind of a thing, but we never really see anything. It gets bored before it lands. It senses the boredom of Victoria and it just goes away. They just go to sleep.
Hilden
Victoria's
Donaldson,
rain
how
shadow.
cold is it right now in Grassy Plains, Nova Scotia? Or Grassy Plains, British Columbia?
I'll
What
just take
the
a
heck
peek
am
at
I
the
saying?
calendar here.
He's walking away.
It says -1 right now. That's quite
-1.
a bit warmer than it was this morning. It was -12 this morning.
Yeah, it's definitely warmer than it is here in Wales right now. I'm telling you that. How are the cows?
Oh, they're doing pretty good. We shipped the ones that were problem cows and things yesterday, and had a little funny thing. One gate got pushed, the post got pushed away from the gate so it wouldn't latch. We didn't realize it. And 2 cows got out in the middle of the field. We had to bring him in. When we had to bring him in, we found out that I'd bumped into a post on another gate with a tractor, and we couldn't close that gate, and then went out into another field. And it was a big chase around, but we got him on the truck.
Those cows are sneaky, eh? You gotta watch them. They're always up to no good.
Well, especially when you get all the problem cows ready to go on the track, and then they're the ones that find all those stupid things to do.
Yeah, well, there's the reason that they're the ones getting shipped off, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. I thought I had a really good video, and it turned up it got corrupted. I couldn't share it. It was this cow stood up on her hind legs and on her front legs over the side of the chute. Like the cow was standing on her hind legs 10 feet in the air. And she was there like 10 minutes. I got a real good video of it, and then the video got corrupted somehow. And I couldn't.
Hey guys, I like to introduce the Joey Only, the host of the Comedeorological Weather Report, and Jenny, the Storm Chaser.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. What are your names?
I'm Maddie. I'm Brock. Shannon. I'm Caitlin.
That's excellent. My name's Joey Only here in Wells, British Columbia, and you're on the Comedeorological Report, your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. Does the weather suck right now in Sydney, Nova Scotia?
Yeah, it's pretty cold here. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
then
how
how close it where Brandon is at.
And it sucks extra in Brandon's town.
It's -8 here. Wind
See?
chill's -13.
Same here in Wells. Same here in Wells.
Also
So is this
another
the
big
first time you
summer.
ever met Frankie McDonald, kids? Is this the first time you ever met Frankie?
We love Frankie.
You see them all the time?
That means you're going to be on cable TV in Vancouver Island and at CFUR 88.7 FM Prince George, and CKUW 95.9 FM Winnipeg, and CFPX 92.5 FM in Kamloops.
Whoa.
That's true. Do you remember the hurricane last year? What was that like?
Fiona, it was really, really bad.
Mine? You want to take one of mine
Yeah.
too? Okay, you ready? I'll take mine. Okay. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Hurricane
Getting
Fiona
him.
was the worst hurricane ever in my province.
Hurricane Fiona was pretty bad. Oh,
Selfie time. This is
time.
part of Frankie's life. This
Yeah,
is
I love
Frankie's
it.
every day.
Everyone's got to get the pictures
Well,
with Frankie.
these people are going to be on cable TV in Vancouver Island.
Yeah, you tell those girls. Thank you for coming on the show. Random.
Frankie
street-
doesn't look cold over there. Those three, they look pretty cold. I should have brought one of these along.
No,
The
one of
Canadian
these.
top hat. It's required. Canadian top hat. If you're going outside, you got to own one.
So Jenny, tell us how you first got into storm chasing, where that comes from, and what you learned along the way, how you learned it, and just sort of give us an overview of your meteorological love.
Well, it started, as I said, when I was 7 years old. I was camping in the backyard with a friend, and plowing moved through, picking up my tent, and I went for a ride like a kite and came out to a bunch of trees and trampolines flying everywhere. I thought I was in the middle of a tornado at the age of 7, but that piqued my interest, and I just kind of stayed with me. Moved out to this west central area of Saskatchewan right around the time that the movie Twister came out. And this area is really an active area for severe weather. So I remember there being all these tornado warnings like through the week, through the summer, and I would ride my bike out to the end of the street, hoping, I could catch a tornado on the edge of town or something at the age of 12. So 16 just started, driving around and learning how storms moved and teaching myself the environment. And a lot of what I picked up along the way is self-taught and picking it up from like wonderful weather people here in Canada. So getting a little information and adapting it to myself. So now I do my own forecasts and figure out where I'm targeting. And amazing people like, Brandon and Kyle Britton and Jacqueline Whittall, they all taught me amazing things through the years.
Yeah, the thing about the weather communities, it's really inclusive that way, right?
Especially here in Canada. Like, it's amazing on how accepting and how close the weather community becomes. Because I've been doing a lot of work with the organization Girls Who Chase to support women in the field of storm chasing, meteorology, and STEM. And, the challenges we face here in Canada, we don't face a lot of like what the US women have to chase, because the men in the chase world here are absolutely amazing at encouraging our female chasers.
And the other guy, extreme meteorologist Reed Timmer, he's chasing storms too. He's from AccuWeather. Reed Timmer, he's an extreme meteorologist and storm chaser.
He's the best. He's the best. What I find interesting too about you when you give your overview story of like how you kind of came to where you are, and like for a lot of us, I mean, it's kind of the same for Brandon Houck. It's kind of the same for me. Like I got struck by lightning when I was young, and then I had to know, and it was like kind of the same as like you riding your bike out to the end as me, like using the AM radio to dial in where the storms might be happening this afternoon and decide if maybe there's a chance it comes our way. Back things were kind of old school back then. You couldn't just go on the internet and look at radars, so and then like a lot of us have that same. I think in Canada, the weather community, there's not very many of us. In the States, it's kind of a big thing. It's competitive. It's like tornado chase. There's kind of a machismo almost about it. You know what I mean? Like kind of a.
And we don't really get paid in Canada here the way they get paid down in the States. So.
Yeah, there is that.
When is the last sunset up above the Arctic Circle?
Trivia time. When's the last sunset above the Arctic Circle?
Ooh, I'm gonna go
Ever.
November 20th.
I was gonna say November
23rd.
21st. Brandon's looking online. He's guessing. He's not
Oh, no,
guessing.
I'm not Googling. This is a wild
It's
guess.
November the 18th.
18th. Brandon and I both overbid. The price is wrong. Wah, 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 wah.
The longest day of the year in Invercargill, Christchurch, and Dunedin, New Zealand is December 21st. And the shortest day of the year in Sydney, Nova Scotia is December 21st as well.
Hank, would you say that your, how you came into storm chasing and love of weather, and the question will be for Brandon too, is much the same as Jenny's story? Like, do you see some commonalities there?
Well, I mean, not really, because she started much younger than I did, and I used to think storm chasers were completely out of their mind.
Are we not? I thought we were as unstable as the air we chase.
When I was like in my 20s, I thought storm chasing was absolutely bonkers, and only half insane people did it. And then I saw Greg Johnson. I was watching. When I was first on Twitter, and it was relatively new. I started following, because so many people followed him. I started following Greg Johnson.
Yeah.
And so he's a well-known storm chaser. He used to be on Twitter a lot, that guy, but not anymore. Anyway, back then, I saw some of the stuff, and I saw all of a sudden there was a day with multiple tornadoes right in my area, and Greg was right on it. I was down in my basement. He shared all this footage afterward of these amazing cold core tornadoes, and there was like 3 of them right in my general area, that same day. And he didn't catch all of them, but various people did, and I just thought that was pretty cool. And then I decided to, once I saw a storm, I was good at looking at radar and stuff and seeing when storms were coming. I had an interest in that sort of thing. So when I saw a storm coming one day, I decided to go out driving, but be carefully close a little bit closer in on it. And that storm just totally blew me away. So this was when Jenny had already been chasing for a while. That was like 2011, 2012, something like that.
So it's something like, it's a little bit different than the American chase community, I guess, because if this was, America, you'd be kind of like out there, like letting the air out of Jenny's tires or something like that, or you'd be like watching which direction she's going to go and deciding whether or not to go that way or not.
We have a friendly competition with each other. We like to say that we hate each other when they, the other person nails that epic shot and you totally missed it. But really, we're proud of each other. But we still have to throw a few jabs out there.
I don't know if you have to. Brandon, was it much the same for you? How did you become the nerd you became?
The nerd that I became, that was flying through a thunderstorm at the age of 4. So I was really, really young. And lightning hit the side of the plane, and I had the best ride of my life that day. Everybody else in the plane, they did not have a good time. But I became fascinated with thunderstorms, and I was the guy, if I missed a thunderstorm, I had a temper tantrum. Yeah. So I'm still kind of like that today too.
I noticed.
The quietest tantrum ever. Brandon's so quiet. I can picture him just silently shaking his little fist and glaring, frowning, drawing his eyebrows on to look more angry.
How's the weather in your area?
I'm sorry, what?
Hilding, how's the weather in your area?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Well, we had nice sunshiny days the last 3 days, but it's been like 12 in the mornings and only up to 0 during the day. So it's pretty cold. I mean, their skiff of snow hasn't blown away, so and hasn't melted. So you get cold when you're out working.
Time to look at the comments. Today, the comments. Carol Bergstrom says, love you all. Shelley Slinsky, what does it say on the Vampire's Cup, Frankie? What did it say in the Vampire's Cup?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. When's cold weather coming to Florida? From James Hansen.
Does Florida even get cold weather?
What
Well,
they
they-
think is cold is different than what we think is cold.
I was
Very
in Florida
true.
once when the temperature got to 0, and that was very
Oh, no.
entertaining. Very entertaining. I was out in the swimming pool by myself. I had the whole swimming pool to myself. It was awesome. And the guys that were maintaining the pool, they had big winter parkas on. They had toques on, mittens on. They were ready to go out in the Arctic. And here I am in the swimming pool all by myself that day. And we went out, we went mini golfing that day too. I was in my I was wearing shorts. It was awesome. It was cool enough to have a sweater on. So kind of dressed like this with a pair of shorts. And I saw this other person at the bus stop. She had a whole parka on and she was sitting there. She was shivering. Oh my goodness. She was not having a good time.
You're exaggerating. You know how I know? I know you're exaggerating because they don't own parkas in Florida.
They don't sell them there. You cannot import a parka.
They
Comment
must have
from
got them from their friends up north, eh?
But to be fair, that is the best way to advertise that you're Canadian. Incidentally, it will also mark you as a target. So if anyone's going to rob someone, rob the Canadian, because Canadian will just go, here's my wallet. I'm sorry I had it.
Here's my coat. Yeah.
Kevin says,
Can I do
Imogen
anything?
will be staying on Frankie's couch. That
Not
is
true. No.
not true. That's incorrect. I'll be
Monday,
staying
April
on the
8th,
couch and
2024.
Imogen will be on the spare room.
On the roof. I'll be on Frankie's roof. I'll be camping on Frankie's roof for the eclipse.
Hotel. Holiday Inn. Did you hear about this? I got something else to say. Tomorrow night, Space Guy Show, 9 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Atlantic, 7 o'clock Pacific.
I didn't hear about that. No.
Space
James,
Guy Show Halloween special.
Halloween special. This should have been the Halloween special, but we had like 2 weeks of Halloween special already. So we just decided to have a normal show. And besides, we got Jenny Hagan on. Well, that's so great. Oh, speaking of tornadoes, sirens, Frankie, James Hansen wants a Frankie tornado siren. Everybody. Everybody. Come on, everybody. Tornado sirens.
Wow. I better take cover, eh?
My
Okay.
dog has no idea what is going on right now.
If that was in panel view, then anyone watching this on TV would have seen that Joey and Frankie were the only ones doing it, and the rest of us were just watching with great amusement.
My dog
Yes.
tried to join
I
in.
found
but-
out Compound Media is also coming to Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024, too.
It's supposed to be everyone does it when we do the tornado siren, everybody.
So it kind of cuts out a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, the sound just cuts out and it gets real bad. We're not set
Yeah,
up for that.
Sounds like you're whispering the tornado siren, like whing, yeah, something like that. Cats that are hiding behind the counter. I don't know.
That's why we need everyone to do it so that all the different dysfunctioning.
So we can have
when they-
worse audio. So we can seem like we're subpar for cable access. Is that what you're going for? Are you trying to lower the quality from cable access Zoom?
Well, what I was
Oh,
actually
did
trying to
you
do
hear
is
about
be
Gary
funnier.
and Dino show is heading for Salton Sea on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming up the 27th, to 28th, to 29th of October. Gary and Dino show will be in Salton Sea.
Hey, Frankie,
Yeah,
what
I
kind of
like those-
monsters do they
I
have
like
in the
those
Salton
guys.
Sea? Frankie?
They probably have some kind of fossils.
You know what they do? The Salton Sea is infested with fossils and extra salty monsters. So if you're going to get attitude from a monster, it's going to be right there. They're going to be extra salty. They'll come rearing up out of the water. They'll just flip you off and then walk away. Like it's nothing but attitude.
That's where Gary and Dino staying on the Friday the 27th, Saturday 28th, and Sunday the 29th, Salton Sea.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I like those guys, Gary and Dino. They're really good show, really popular guys. Really good, funny, really funny guys. Funny
Stay
guys.
up all night long. It's great.
Sleep deprivation does lead to some kookiness. It's always a blast with those guys.
So, final questions for Jenny Hagan. For our meteorology students at the University of Winnipeg who might be listening to this show, where can they maybe find some of your work?
They could check me out. I'm at Lost in SK across all social media. That includes TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Insta. TikTok's my favorite because I get to act like a complete goofball.
Hey, Jenny, I got TikTok, Frankie McDowell 1984.
I've already followed you.
How do you get lost in Saskatchewan anyways? You can see like from one side to the other. It's like, oh crap, where am I? Oh look, there's Saskatoon 300 kilometers away, and there's Regina. Cool, I just gotta drive through the middle of them.
It takes a special talent.
I guess though, when you get wind blowing 80 kilometers an hour, like Hank was saying, with 3 centimeters of snow, it can be pretty easy to get lost in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and people nowadays can't seem to grasp the concept that your daytime running lights don't turn on your taillights. So it's always interesting following behind these people in daytime snowstorms that don't turn their headlights on because they got no taillights.
That's true. Does people ever ever call it Saskatchewan?
Saskabush?
Oh yeah.
Saskabush.
We don't have trees in western part here. That's all out in the eastern part. I grew up on the eastern portion of Saskatchewan. There's trees, there's lakes. And then I moved out here and I'm like, yep, this is the Saskatchewan everybody talks about. It's just flat. No trees, no nothing.
You literally have to burn cow patties to stay warm.
Nothing wrong with the ready source of fuel. Flammable poop is
go
good.
around.
Right? Flammable poop is the most eco-friendly fire starter you're gonna ever use.
And when you get so much wind down there too, all you got to do is you put up like a big net and it just collects all the poop flying through the air. And then that's how you get your firewood for the year.
Don't open your mouth too wide.
Sure. So one thing we didn't really talk about this week, but we talked about in the pre-show, Hurricane Otis. It came out of the blue. Who's got something on Hurricane Otis? It was like, it was nothing. And then it was a Category 5 hurricane and people were getting destroyed in Acapulco.
Yeah, Hurricane Otis. It was a tropical storm. It was forecast to make landfall as a tropical storm. And then Otis decided, nah, I'm going to be a Category 5 hurricane and surprise everybody. And that's what Otis did. And it made landfall at Acapulco there. So, Category 5.
I saw a graphic of the predictions versus the actual as far as intensity goes. And like every model predicted it was going to be nowhere close to a Cat 5. Every single model. And then all of a sudden it just did it. It was bizarre.
Yeah. Do you think maybe sometimes we get a little too reliant on computer modeling and we still need to have a little bit of that feel, the pulse, a little bit of, guesswork? I mean, the conditions had to have been somewhat there for this to happen. How could everyone have missed that?
Well, I noticed that on your chart last week that there was a Hurricane I right off the coast of Mexico. And you even mentioned it, but we never really talked about it. I just sort of thought that looked like it was going to be a hurricane the same way as the ones that we had seen off of Florida earlier.
It just come out of the blue and took them. Yeah, dozens dead in Acapulco area.
Yeah.
Anyways, anyone got a last question for Jenny, our guest of honor? Of course, we'd like to have you on the show whenever you want to come on. Then you join the panel. I'd love to have you join the panel.
I never heard how much snow you got down there, Danny, from Friday or whatever.
And then how many times does Saskatchewan always get hailstorms by severe thunderstorms in Saskatchewan? Does Saskatchewan always get hail instead of rain?
Yeah, we got 20-ish centimeters of snow, and then for Frankie's, yeah, we get a lot of
I'm talking
hailstorms
about
here.
summertime. I'm just talking about summertime severe thunderstorms in Saskatchewan. That they always get hail rather than rain.
No, they don't always get hail rather than rain, but rain has been pretty sparse. So we've had more hail this year than we have rain, and only a single tornado recorded for Saskatchewan this season.
Hail is different than rain.
Yeah, we had more hail this year than rain.
Yeah, that's a dead season, eh? One tornado.
What do?
Extreme
I don't know.
drought.
Brandon might know it better, but I can't think of a time there was ever only one tornado in Saskatchewan for the season.
Yeah, it's been definitely a while, I guess. Pretty much ever since I've been tracking all this stuff. That's the first time I've seen one tornado for Saskatchewan. Usually it's Alberta that fails on the tornadoes. Like, oh, we had 3 tornadoes. Look at Saskatchewan with 12 tornadoes. Holy. I guess this year is a lot different, eh?
I mean, in the diagram, a severe thunderstorm starts off light rain, then it goes to the moderate rain, then heavy rain, then small hail, then large hail, then tornado, then dry slot.
Any other questions for Jenny before we wrap up this week's episode?
Hey, Jenny.
Yeah.
Down there at Richmond, are there still crazy kooks camped out down there at Richmond in the school? I heard about that from like a month ago. I don't remember. I don't know. Haven't heard any news.
You live near these people?
Yes, we do have them still staying in the old school there. That's the Kingdom of Canada cult that has ties with, what is it? What's that? I can't think of the name down in the States there.
Me neither.
Crazy.
The crazy people.
Yeah, I'll think of it here, but they set up camp. She calls herself the Queen of Canada, and they don't believe in paying taxes or anything like that. They have threatened to publicly execute members of the community, the police chief. They think that all healthcare professionals should be lined up and executed as well. So this is the cult that's living in Richmond. The local people are trying to protest it, and they've even set up a temporary RCMP detachment there.
Wow.
Is that Romana's cult? Is that the one that's
it's her.
Romana,
So it's her and a few of her select followers that are staying in this old abandoned school in Richmond, but it's on private property. So
okay,
there's nothing they can do about it.
If you want to follow me on social media.
Yeah.
I'd rather follow you in a Pinto.
I'd rather follow Frankie than the Queen of Canada.
If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My Blue Sky is at Frankie MacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD 984. My TikTok is Frank Down 984. My Clapper is Frank Down 984. My Twitch is Frank Down 984. My Snapchat is Frankie MECD1. My YouTube channel Stock Globes, and my LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. Best of luck to you. I'm Frank Down. You're listening to Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic.
That's Frankie. I'm Joey Only out here in Wells, British Columbia. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. I hope you enjoyed our show about how much the weather sucks. And it's been our special guest episode of Jenny Hagan, lost in Saskatchewan out there, living near the Queen of Canada cult. And I'm kind of blown away that you live near that. That happens in Saskatchewan. And that's Saskatchewan for you. Brandon Houke's over in Brooks, Alberta, which is slightly less crazy, I guess. And Hildy Donaldson, he's up there in Grassy Plains, which which we know is crazy. And I don't know about Wilkie, Saskatchewan's like where Hank Least is from. It looks so far from all the photos of Hank seems to live in the nicest, least crazy place out of all of us. Certainly that's not Imogen down there in Victoria, British Columbia. It's a crazy place. And Frankie, he's out there in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And as you can tell by the street youth we meet on the episode shows, it's a very dangerous and crazy place. But Frankie bravely walks around at night, stealing Wi-Fi from A&W and places like that.
It's not true.
And selling it back to them in exchange for burgers and fries. You know what? I gotta say, it would be super cool to be able to say that your neighbor's a queen. I mean, I have a queen neighbor, but that's because I've got a lot of drag queens in my community. So I'm pretty stoked about that. But someone living in an abandoned school, a self-titled queen of the country, and you can say that's your neighbor. That's actually kind of cool.
I mean, what am I here in this lodge then? I got this crazy lodge in the mountains. Like that, what does that make me? Like the emperor of
the Duke of the Mountain Hole. Like
well, she came from BC, so you guys shared her.
Yes.
No, we kicked her out.
She was not kicked out. You know what? The interesting thing is a lot of people here.
That's the show.
Subtle, Frankie, subtle. To be fair, Frankie's watching the time. I'm not.
That's it. That's the recorded show for this week. Frankie's right. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye for now.
Thanks, Frankie.
But we're still live on the YouTube without
Frankie's not.
Is he gone already?
That's what he does. Yeah.
Frankie's gone before the signal cuts.
As soon as he knows it's time, he's right the fuck out the door. And
Frankie's extremely regimented. Dude's got to go do karaoke. He's got to go do appearances and signings, and bounce off Wi-Fi, and yeah.
You hear about a lot of it. Mm-hmm.
that was pretty fun. Pretty fun show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm still laughing. Yeah.
I'm a fly by the seat of my pants type of person, so you give me a schedule, it causes me way too much stress.
I'm kind of the same way, you know. It's like if you give me a schedule, it never fucking works out anyways, right?
Yeah.
It's like people plan things to the minute, and then it goes out the door, and they get upset. And then they're upset at me for some reason. And they're probably even more upset because I don't give a fuck. We're not recording for university radio anymore, so I can use my normal lexicon of linguistics, which is hillbilly. I'm actually wearing my pajamas right now.
Language of hillbilly.
I'm actually wearing my pajamas right now. You didn't know because my pajamas are so cool you couldn't tell.
Joey, you applied for a weather-related job?
I did. Yes.
He's gonna crush it.
I'm about to. I don't know if I should say much about it because we are live streaming or not, but it's a fire weather forecasting position that I'm trying to get, and I have some pretty good support on this, and I think I'm really fucking good at fire weather forecasting is the thing, right? It's like it's become one of my niches.
Good luck.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
You should. We should I'm gonna tell Chris. You should come out and do ChaserCon and do a presentation about fire weather forecasting.
I would love to do that. I was actually saying when we had our ChaserCon episode this spring that that it's an area that no one even thinks about, right?
No, and I would love to learn about it. So yeah, I'm gonna totally suggest that because.
And honestly, some of the most extreme weather things that happen in Canada happen around wildfires. So it's like, I don't know. I think Brandon won. Brandon won the thunderstorm count this year for sure. Brandon won that competition. Yeah. But in terms of intensity and crazy, wild, fucking insane shit, I definitely won that one.
Yeah.
Fire weather, totally intriguing because it's such a fluid situation. So I would absolutely love it.
Yeah, it gets wild. It gets crazy. It gets fun. It's fun. Yeah, we saw some pretty wild shit. Although Brandon did see a tornado on the edge of Brooks. That was pretty good. That was pretty
I
good.
thought the best one had to be the horse shit fire starter.
Yeah, the horse shit, the lightning struck the pile of horse shit, and then the horse shit caught on fire, and it went into a fire whirl, a fire NATO, and flung flaming horse shit all over the fucking place out where Hilding lives.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Can you imagine that? A flaming horse shit NATO?
Oh,
Yes,
God.
I can. I absolutely 100% can.
I think that's still the best thing I heard it this summer anywhere. And that was like all hell was breaking loose. And I was sitting
Yeah.
at the smoking table at the wildfire camp with a whole bunch of us there, people from all over the world. And then I read that comment from Hilding out to everybody at the table, and the whole fucking table just blew snot out their
Such a shitty
noses. Like,
situation. It's just amazing.
it's like when a table of firefighters, you thought they heard it all.
That throws
But everything was-
something. Yeah.
Things were going crazy at that time though too. Like when that was going on, like that was when that Finger Lake Static Lake fire that we were at was on, and it was like walls of flame trying to burn down lodges and all hell breaking loose, and we're having to run away. And then just trying to leave the fire, there was 3 new fires on the Cluskis Hut Road that broke out of the blue that day. And so we're trying to leave, and all of a sudden, and there was like 2 columns from our fire, the next one over, then another fire over there, and then there was suddenly 3 new ones on the road. We had to drive right through them. There's a fire on both sides of the road. We drive through the one. We're like, okay, that's over. Well, no, actually, first we turn around. We're like, oh, we'll go up the Bobtail Road instead. And we get there, and it's like exploding in fire. We're like, okay, I guess we're not going this way. I guess we'll try the other way. So then we go the other way. We drive through that fire, and then when we come out of it, like 6 kilometers away, there's another fire. And we're like, holy shit. And we drive through that, trying to get back to the camp. And then when we get through that, there's like 5 kilometers after that, there's another fire. Just like all these lightning starts, and it was just boom, fire everywhere. And then we're sitting at the table all dirty and exhausted and smoking. And I'm reading flaming horse shit NATO. And that got everyone. That was the medicine we needed that day.
One of the crazier pieces of footage I saw this past summer was a hay bale burning in the middle of a sideways rain downpour. So the hay bale had been struck by lightning. This was somewhere in very southern reaches of Saskatchewan. I believe it was Braden Morrisville who filmed it. And in the middle of a crazy downpour, this hay bale was just totally on fire. And just the flames just coming out of this hay bale.
It's like the only hay bale that they managed to get together this year in Saskatchewan.
What?
We got one, and lightning struck it, burned it down.
That southern portion actually got like a decent amount of storms. That was like where the most tornado warnings and everything were. And I wasn't too far away from him, but I didn't. That storm, it was just like, usually before hail starts falling, you get those big raindrops and then a few little small chunks of hail. Well, this particular storm, it was not. It was just golf balls flying out at you, like boom, no rain, no nothing, just golf ball hail. It's like cracked in the top of the head with this big golf ball. So that was it. I had to bail on the storm.
Yikes.
Guess where the worst hail was that I was in this summer? It was right down there in Jenny's neck of the woods. Not too far away from there. Yeah, I got pummeled. Oh, ouch! Luckily it was only about quarter size, but if it had been much more, I could have had quite a bit of damage on my vehicle there. So I got lucky.
This year was the first year in 14 years of chasing that I ever got caught in a hail core. I was southern Alberta, I was chasing, and right down by the US border. So of course, road options suck. And a semi-trailer had skidded out and is over the road. So I had nowhere to go other than north, and my south option was blocked. So I got hammered with like baseball size hail. And my vehicle took that's the first time in 14 years I've ever been caught in a hail core.
Nice.
Cracked windshield or no?
No, I had all my camping gear, so I took my sleeping bag and put it up over my windshield, and I have a sunroof in my little Suzuki too, so put the sleeping mat over top of my sunroof and saved the
How about
windshield.
the back window? How about
What?
the back window? The back window.
No, I angled the vehicle so that it was pelting sideways, so it wasn't a direct hit, so managed to save all my windows, but it definitely, it was loud and I was waiting for the windows to go.
Glad they didn't. I'm gonna have to replace my windshield anyway.
I definitely had a couple times in Alberta
Maybe I should just
chasing
go for it. Eh?
where I went off the highway and around, but then when I came back to Nanton, everyone was parked at the SO and there was like cars just busted windows and dented and people looking at there, and I was like, wow, it was like, you know, and these are the kind of people like it came out of nowhere, you know, they're probably thinking, but like I'm like driving down the highway following the storm, I'm like, wow, that looks like an insane thing I don't want to drive through. I think I'll just go around it because I'm chasing, you know, I'll go around and watch the storm from a nice safe location. But no, everyone, they just go flying down Highway 2 at 110.
Yeah, they just go for it, but
like, dunk, what was that? Dunk, that wasn't a laser blast, something hit us. Dunk.
Pretty good impression of the hail. You know, irregular intervals, just boom.
Come on, get up here. Asteroids.
Then you're scrambling to figure out which direction is the fastest to get out of the hail, right? Might have to quick check radar, but hasn't been updated. That's where I get burned. Is I think that the hail's a slightly different place, but I'm looking at, 10-minute old radar, and boom, I've been burned many times on it.
well, especially chasing like the southern portions of the province, right, kind of down by the border, is there's so many cell dead zones that you can get yourself in trouble, especially like nighttime, not being able to have visuals on it. But yeah, I was mad at myself because I was really good at staying out of hail cores. You know, I skirting around them. It was when you got no road options, you're just kind of at the mercy of the storm.
It'll never happen to me. I'm not like the other
You
one.
play a fire, you're bound to get burned, but
Yeah, I know. I've been burned.
my bragging rights of not being in hail cores kind of just
I've been burned a lot. I spent a significant amount of my life injured. So I sympathize with how you're feeling right now.
see, I don't get to, you don't get injured doing something cool. I just injure myself doing stupid things.
No, that's usually what happens to me too. Yeah, it's usually something stupid. When I'm doing something cool, I'm like full execution. I'm on it. Well, I'm not paying attention, and I spent a lot of my life. You play in the mountains, you're gonna fall.
And it gets harder to get up as I get older. The body doesn't bounce the way it used to.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I partly lie because I'm incredibly coordinated, but nonetheless, I spent a lot of my life wounded, tree branches in the eyes, or you name it, right? I'm always bleeding from something. It's like frequent to see me in the woods bleeding and quite ambivalent about it.
The upside is when it bleeds good is there's not as much a chance of infection. I always say if you're going to cut yourself, make sure it bleeds good.
My fire crew's like, you're bleeding. I'm like, I ain't got time to bleed. As I'm like looking for the predator out there.
Are you going out tonight, Hank?
Am I what?
Going out tonight?
What, outside to shoot photos or something? Is that what you're
Yeah,
wondering?
the Aurora looking good.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, the
didn't know.
data's looking really good right now. We're at a KP5.
You're just looking at the numbers, or have you seen sightings? Have you heard
I
about
haven't
any?
been outside yet because I've been talking to you all.
Yeah, I know.
K5, that ain't worth getting cold for.
But the data looks great.
Yeah, is that potential going to bounce up a little higher, you think?
So I got
Well-
flurries in my neck of the woods. So
I'll have to look I have to look in 3 minutes, right, and see how it looks. But if it's nothing, I'm staying in. So it has to happen when I'm out there. And if it's not happening when I'm out there, then I'm not going. Yeah.
Oh, come on. You're not living unless you're like freezing your butt off.
No, it could be. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I see what Jenny's saying. Maybe it's a 5 right now, but it could go as high as 8. And we do seem to have some pretty good looking activity, like where Joe Stover would be living there in Churchill, Manitoba.
Yeah, it's looking good. So hopefully it holds on and
Yeah. I had
we're gonna get a good show here in Saskatchewan.
one of my best ever Aurora time lapses on Friday, so I don't feel a pressing need that I need to go get more Aurora footage right now. I feel
Yeah,
fairly
those
satisfied.
That is a good time lapse. I should have asked you about that this week, actually.
Papers. I don't know. I can't turn these shooting opportunities down. It's like, ooh, something good to go see.
Yeah, it's like the best show on earth whenever something's happening.
The hardest thing is
like
choosing the foreground.
But the thing is, like, in Wells here, I mean, you can see them right in town. Our town is only like a couple hundred people at most, right? Like, it's not a big light polluting emitter. And certainly when you leave a little bit, you go out of town a little bit, being at 4,000 feet, you get really nice views of the stars and all that kind of stuff right now. But I have certain places like to go that have really big panoramic views out to Bowen Provincial Park, big snow-capped mountains. And I just love to sit up there, and it's like 25-minute drive down dirt road to go get out there. And it's like, I gotta see that KP hitting 8-9. I gotta see that show starting to pop before I'm gonna go out there.
Yeah.
Really taking pictures. I get that. But the thing is, here in BC, so many shows are a bust.
Yeah.
If you're on when I was up in near Fort Nelson fighting at the Donnie Creek fire in September, we had a great show that up there. That's your side of the Rockies.
I mean, when it comes to forecasting, the Aurora forecasts are nowhere near as accurate as, say, storm forecasts. Like, they might give it all kinds of hype and say, this is going to be an unbelievable show. And then you actually get nothing at all at times. There's never a guarantee when it comes to Aurora forecasting. Yeah,
and it's often quite the opposite too. But I'd say, looking at what I'm seeing here, I would say if you're in Saskatchewan, it might be worth checking it out. For sure.
Oh, I'm gonna head out. I got nothing better to do.
That's
You'll kind of kick my butt today, but I'm sure I could suffer through it.
That's the spirit. People are like, man, Joey, you got such great storm footage. How did you do it? It's like, well, I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
I was very lonely, so I sat outside for quite a long time by myself. Like, wow, that was great footage. How did you get that? Well,
I live in the middle of nowhere, so it takes me all of 5 minutes to go find a place to go shoot.
Yeah, well, it's because you got flat country. I live in the middle of nowhere. I mean, Barkerville is the middle of nowhere in BC. However, I got mountains here. So
That
it's
is
like,
true.
right? So it's like, I want to get that full view, that big view north, and not have the lights of Wells in the way or whatever. I mean, I can see them pretty good from the house here. It's like, when I want to go out and get that, it's like an event. Like, I fucking love driving onto Bower and parking in that spot, and you can sit there all night. And it's,
That's an awesome valley that you got overlooking.
Weren't you with me, Hilding? Didn't we do that?
Yeah.
The problem is I don't see a single star. No stars.
Is
So
it cloudy?
that ain't gonna work.
I forgot.
actually
Last
expect to
time
see
Hilding
what-
was in Wells, the Northern Lights were happening a little bit, and we did exactly that. We took a drive out to Bower and parked at that exact spot
that's
I'm talking
cloudy.
about.
Cloudy with flurries. Oh yeah.
That's an awesome
Okay.
way to get them because you get quite a big curve in that valley. So you get quite a different angles of the sky that you can see out there.
It's a really nice view from that spot. You know, when that cut block finally grows in, I don't know. I'm gonna have to like hope a storm starts a fire on that spot again or something, burns all the forest down that's growing there. But for now, you can still see like the Bower Provincial Park really nicely, see the whole Caribou Mountain Range. And it's like the spot to watch the Northern Lights and watch a storm. It's awesome here. But yeah, here in the valley, every direction we got mountains in the way. So
I would love to see it over the mountains because it's just not something I get to see.
and that one picture I took this spring, that was epic. Just mountains and fucking lights. I was so proud. It was just like a cell phone pic, but iPhone pic looked awesome.
The Weather Network removed the cloud cover.
Oh, yeah, I see cloud cover over most of Saskatchewan, Alberta. Yeah.
Darn
That's
it. Oh well. Maybe it'll be clear enough. You'll get to see a little bit.
So one of the things I was doing, because I'm trying to get this job right, was I'd asked my weather group that I run, Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, people to give testimonials about what the group's done for them, and you know how my forecasting relates to them. And one thing I've seen again and again and again here in these amazingly positive, there's 126 of these comments, and they're all very positive. Thanks, Joey, you know, kind of stuff. Again and again and again, people are trashing the Weather Network on here.
Oh,
Yeah, I get those
know.
too. Some days.
Chasing with Kyle, like especially out in the rural areas. When he
You
was
don't
driving the Weather Network one around, he was being given the gears, that's for sure.
Well, that's one thing I've been trying to do, is be more of a rural weather. So that's what the point of Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers when I started it 11 years ago was, or 9 years ago, whatever, was I'm going to make a weather group that's just about the BC interior. We're not going to talk about the coastal weather. We're not going to talk about, and if I can help it, I'm going to avoid like being like, well, in Kelowna, it's going to be 29 degrees, you know, and more like look at the province physically, what's going on physically in the interior of the province, not like, you know, what does the Weather Network do? The Weather Network will go, well, in
What's
Victoria,
happening rather than what will
Vancouver
happen.
that, and Kelowna this, and Calgary that, and Edmonton this, and Regina that, right? And a lot of us don't live in those places.
We didn't touch on many news stories today. That's okay. I just noticed we were so busy talking to Jenny the whole time.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about wacky news.
I know, the show just flew by. It was really great.
It went fast.
It was like, we just got done talking to Frankie and it was already 16 minutes gone. I was like, whoa.
You
Well,
know,
we just should bring Jenny back.
Yes, you can come on. You're in the group chat. You can just come on and talk with us every week now.
Yeah, I think he's trying to bring a new face, eh?
Yeah, well,
We
it's
actually have things to talk about though.
when he
well,
had those,
usually-
I thought it was a YouTube video or something. And then we're talking to him and he was answering you. I was like, oh, I guess he has those teeth in right now. Oh, it's funny.
Well, generally the order of the show would be like, we go Frankie, Brandon, and then we run through everybody who's on the panel and just ask like, what's your weather been like this week? Right. And everyone just comes on and chimes in the weather. So it just becomes kind of a discussion of like, you know, and then eventually we move on to weird, wacky news and things like that. Right. But when we have special guests on, then the format usually is Frankie touch base with the special guest, then do Brandon, then feature special guest.
Frank
Well,
was more vocal tonight too, but he was hilarious. I loved it.
He was bang on.
Yeah.
Well, this has
hopefully,
been,
on a Thursday we'll have like an epic winter storm, and we could do it live.
you can be out in the weather just being like, yes, it's happening again.
I coaxed Brandon into doing it with me on Monday.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
It was so hard to pull his arm too.
Not at all.
Oh yeah.
We often do those kind of things. So like we can, on weekdays when shit's going on. So there's always that, right? Just keep building our little crew. Comedeorology. But it's like, I think that's the thing that has to happen. There has to be a Canadian weather talk show that's funny. Someone has to do it.
My son will tell you I am not funny at all.
And it's like the thing is too, it's like, so often it's like it's time for the weather, people. Hi. Wow, here's some nice pictures of flowers from Victoria today. Wow, thank you very much, Billy.
It's okay. I get told how to be a real media person all the time.
And people don't, I don't know. It's like everyone's just used to seeing this kind of bland shit.
And I think that's why like stuff like this, and I know Brandon's and everything, like it just took off during COVID.
Oh, Brandon didn't mind the weather
for
network
something that was
He's like
entertaining, so people just flocked to the funnier stuff because nobody wants to watch a stuffy weather person stand there pointing at a map.
No, Brandon was the different one. In fact, he planned to get married to the theme song from the Weather Network. Walk down the aisle. Was his dream.
I don't know.
I need a theme song.
What's funny is I've heard that theme song so many thousands of times back in the day, but it was so memorable that I can't remember how it goes.
I kind of, but it's not a singing kind of theme song. You need instruments.
I think it is. Try it. I think it is. I think it's a singing kind. Can you sing it for me, please?
Come up with the ideas for a theme song for me. That could make for an amusing Twitter post.
Oh yeah, that would be. Well, when I do weather, on radio, like this morning, it was like National Howl at the Moon Day, and I howled on the radio. That's how I do it.
I love watching Brandon.
You're an animal.
Yep.
I am. I'm not afraid to admit it too.
That's so funny. Well, it's been 2 hours. I should let even animals need to go to bed. And
What's
It's been a pleasure.
I need to eat something, and it's been a fun time tonight. So hopefully we do it again next time.
Well, I'm off work for the next
back.
month at least, so maybe I'll join in some more.
That'd be great. I would like that.
Next
They're on.
time.
Thanks, Hank. Thanks, Hilding. Thanks, Hout. Thanks,
Good
Hagan.
night.
Have a great
Hank,
night.
Hilding, Hauk, Hagan, and Haveman. Well, that's quite the panel, eh?
Oh yeah.
Haveman, Hagan, Hauk, Hilding, and Hank.
Say that 10 times fast.
Signing